I just want to share how I performed last week on Telegram. So this is a weekly report. You can see, I don't know how you just have to zoom in to see this. You will see that last week we dropped 19 trades for crypto last week. And out of those 19, seven of them were losses. And you can see that it's -7 because we reached 1% for each of the losses. And the profits were amazing, right? Because we target like 2 to 3, at least minimum 3 basically for the profits. And you can see that net P&L is 40 plus percent. So if you're risking 10%, and I've shown you guys how to do the risk, how to risk 10% using the FS crypto calculator. If you're risking 10%, that would be a $405 profit. And this scales all the way to, if you have more money and you're risking 200%, that's $8,000 for that week. So this is if you're using the FS crypto calculator, the link is in the description, and you just follow us at all our signal for last week. Now, for Forex, we did this almost the same thing. Forex, of course, we drop a lot of scalping trades, so you have to be online to take those trades. For Forex, you can see some days, like this particular day, you can see loss, 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 loss. These 7 trades on a row, right? It happens. You can see on this particular day, we had a lot of losses first, then wins, losses, and you can see it's all wins after. And from the reports we have from Forex too, I think this minus 1,279 pips, this is the most loss that we've had since we started dropping the signals. But the profits were like double the losses, which makes net profit this. I can see just 0.01 lot size will give us this in profit and all that. So do well to make sure you join these channels and enjoy the signals that we give them. Opportunities to also don't give opportunities here to make money. I want to look at but if you're trading prop firm, don't use don't use never use the forex signals we drop to trade prop firm. Okay. If you want to learn to trade prop firm, where you take very minimalistic trades a day, you should join us on go to afipo.com and register there, where you can take very good amount of money and take few trades per week and still achieve even better result than this. So we're going to go back to the tradition we normally do. Welcome again. This is another week. We're doing analysis for this week. But what you can do for me right now is to tell me where you are chatting from. Okay, yeah, I think I can see YouTube now because last week I couldn't see the YouTube comments, but I can see them now. So tell me where the city and the country you're in right now. So I am in Lagos, Nigeria. I want to know where you are attending this meeting from. So just go to the comment section and type it. Go to the comment section and tell me where you are attending this live from. Okay, that is it. So we have Informatic Web attending from Lagos, Nigeria. Eugene is in Benin. Harvard is watching from Omahia. Pressure Bauchi, Zeko, Ghana, Accra. Solomon is in PA City. And Uzoma is in Netherlands. We have Mofom in South Africa. Prince is in Edo. We have Olariwa in Kaduna. Is it only? It seems it's only YouTube guys that comment. Twitter guys already dropping a comment here because I'm streaming straight on both Twitter and YouTube. YouTube are the people that may interact more. So Bluegate or Woolgate Academy Oka Monday Godwin Jimin is in Lagos, Nigeria. So welcome to another week of analysis. Again, make sure that you're also in the Telegram to get daily signals. Let's look at an analysis for today. So I'm going to share my screen. I see you, Skelo Zuma from South Africa, and of course Idris Yakubu in Nigeria, in Abuja. So let's go. So we're going to start with Euro USD. So we'll analyze Forex pairs first before I go to crypto pairs. So analyze crypto pairs. Okay, now if you know me, you know that on Mondays I start from the weekly and go down to the daily for analysis. So we're gonna go to weekly and see what we are doing on the weekly. Okay, so we've had this for a long time. Is it happening this year? I don't really know. Now, so what do we have? I'll go ahead and clean some of this stuff. Clean some of this stuff so it's clear. So I'm gonna clear some of this stuff. So this is a weekly. Okay. Now picking a weekly range. So I'm just gonna pick this way I've picked before, this upper boundary and this lower boundary. Hold on, I think I can do something to make this highlight better. So picking this upper boundary and this lower boundary, it's too far, but I just like to leave it at that. It's still pretty really far from because it's what I do is mainly both day trade and swing trade. So I'm trying to see where I can trade for the week. So trading within here is okay for me for the week. That is within this range. So this market can go up from here, it can go down from here. So I'm trying to catch trade opportunities here. To start finding out on the weekly, you can have a sense of direction where the market will likely go to. Because if I go down here, I see that we'll have an open fair value gap here. The market is is going to target this line. So it's looking to take orders from below to go higher. But first, I have to check the economic calendar. Let me just check this economic calendar and I'll be here. Do we have any interesting thing that is going to happen this Monday? I use both Forex Factory and FX Street because there are sometimes FX Street is enough, you know. For Forex Factory, there's sometimes they will show you some news that are not there. They'll show you they don't show some news, right? So the most thing we should be concerned about, if you're trading CAD, that's the Canadian dollar, and they have CPI announcement by 2:30. Other than that, we're good. Um, I don't trade CAD actually, so I don't trade any CAD pair, so I'm not concerned about that. Now let's look at, so even the same thing on for FX Street, you will see that the red candle folders are the Canada and Canada. Every other thing is fine. So we're good to trade today. It's going to be purely technical analysis. So to make sense of this, I'm going to just move straight to there, to the I'm moving straight to daily. So on the daily, what can we find here? So if you look at this has been the analysis I've made since. I may have done something like this, that I'm expecting a reaction from here, then we go higher. Okay. Why? Because we have this breakout structure we have here. Okay. And I expect a retracement down here, then we'll go higher from here. Now, if you look at the daily, we have an equal high here. Okay, it's not an equal high, but look, this is a weekly high we're looking at. It's almost an equal high here, but I'm just gonna not look at that now because we're really far from it. And if you look below here, we have this movement down. This movement, you can see this movement coming down. This movement down, right? And we're into this zone. So it means that on this time frame, we have a break or structure here. This is an equal high. That's here now is an equal high. You can see that. Sorry, not equal high, equal low here. And the market swept through that. It's something we marked out since, but it later did happen. So we had a sweep. We made a low here. Retracement. I expect the market to go down this way now to tap into this zone. Then we can now look for confirmation entry here to move higher. So this might just be my weekly trade. That is from here, look for opportunities to trade this market to this point. That's what I expect. Okay, so here we're going to go further to the 4 hours now to see what can we trade. So in the 4 hours, hmm, we have to our start marking out different support and supply zones, and start looking at the breakout structures more critically or more closely. So I'm going to go like this. Call this my breakout structure. Okay. I can start marking out some of them. So this is a 4 hour. This is a 4 hour supply zone. This could act as my order block. Okay. Now, mind you, this is one I'm looking forward to. Let me draw this one differently. So I can draw it like this based from the information that we got from the higher time frame. This is what it is. Okay, now if we look down here, what we can start drawing out again, our supply and demand zone. This is a demand zone here. Why is it a demand zone? Because it has a fair value gap. Okay. Even if you look at this one, if you look at this here, we have a demand zone here. Okay, a demand zone here. And we have an efficient zone here. We have an efficient price action here until we get to this point where we now have a fair value gap, which is at this point, very point here. Which is at this very point here. Okay. So now From the way this is looking, we had an order block here. Look at it here. That was not even respected at all. You can see this order block here, which is the supply zone, wasn't respected. We blew past it. We blew into an efficient zone. Okay, this suggests that our movement can be this before we maybe will move lower to connect with this. So these are the things I'm forming from looking at this particular time zone now. Anyway, we'll go down to the 1 hour time frame to start looking for other possible trades we can take here. Okay. Now, the 1 hour time frame is giving us something else. Okay. So I'm going to remove this. This is possible move. So let's just leave it. This is another possible move. Now, the 1 hour time frame is giving us something here. So if you look at here, at this top, on the 4 hour, this was the demand zone. On the 1 hour, if we had traded, we could have refined this to this particular point. This is a 1 hour supply zone. You should know that I use these things. Sometimes you hear me mention other blog. Okay, I call you have the supply and the demand zone. Okay, I collectively refer to both of them as order blocks, the supply and demand zone. But sometimes I mistakenly call the supply zone demand zone supply zone. Just take note of where I'm pointing at. But like the one above are the supplies and the one below are the demand zones, but they're both called order blocks. Okay, so this is a 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we have this, and we tap into this particular zone. This particular zone, we tap into it. We didn't respect the one here. We tap into this particular zone. Now we can now look further to see, are we going to move from here, this particular movement here? Are we going to move up from here, or are we going to break it and move lower? So now I can now zoom in into this particular zone. Let me clear this out. Let me even delete this one. Okay, so in this zone now, what do I have? So I have a movement up this way that tap into the zone. Then we'll have this stuff. Then later I had a break of this particular structure here, this high. So I'll have a demand zone here. Okay, so if you look at both it, you will see a supply zone here. Okay, that has not been tapped into. If you look below here, you'll see beside this one here, beside the one we have here, this particular one we have here, it is pretty all efficient. It's pretty all efficient down. They're all efficient down until we get to this high time frame zone. So what does it mean? It means that this market can do two things. One, it can from here, it can from this zone move up. Okay. But if you break out of this zone, then we can see it moving down until we get to this particular zone or this zone. This is what we can see from here. But I'll still go ahead and draw out the supply and demand zones, because that is where the market is likely going to react from. So this is this one, this is this one. So the market can actually move this way. The market can move this way and tap here and move lower. One scenario. The market can also tap into the zone like this and move higher. Right now, it is not all clear. So what I will do is I'm going to go to let me go to the 30 minutes first. In the 30 minutes, what I like to introduce is now my moving average, because moving average basically helps to say, okay, this is the general direction I see this moving to. Let's see how we'll flow with that direction. Okay. Now, the moving average that you can see here has been supporting this movement upward here until we are beginning to see it break. Okay. Let me move on to the 15 minutes time frame more so you understand what I mean. 15 minutes time frame, we have seen a break this of this. So what is my possible trade? Possible trade can be here, can be from this particular zone here, because we're now diving lower to see what trades can we take. Okay, my possible trade is this. Mind you, I said this zone and this zone is the two zone that we don't really know what is going to happen, because it can respect it, it can break it, it can respect it. In other words, respect means it does this and move higher. It can break it means it does this and move lower. So we just have to wait to see what it does here. Okay, the same thing can happen at both here. If this chooses to go up here, it can respect it, it can go down, it can go up. But we can then trade just from here to here. Okay, that is what we can do. We can trade from just here to here. So what can I do here? So I've marked out my other block here, which is my supply zone. This is a zone that did break of this structure. You can see there's a break of structure here. Now this is a zone. So we have this one can be refined further to like here to even here. Okay. So we have this zone, this supply zone here went down, didn't really break any structure. Maybe this one, it broke this particular one. Okay. But this is the zone that I broke this one. So for this trade, we can do this. We can do a short position from this place, target this high, okay, and to this flow. This is 3.7, and it can even refine further. I can refine this further. Can refine this further to this point or to this point. We can refine further to this particular point. So can this now becomes a 4.84 risk reward ratio. But according to my plan, I don't trade this way. I will take my first take profit at 3R. So my first TP is going to be taken here. Okay, and my second TP is going to be taken here. So this is what I expect. I expect this movement upward this way and downward this way. Okay, well, that makes sense. Then, but if this goes here this way, if this goes here first without going up, then there are things to expect. One is that if I see a confirmation entry this way, then I cannot trade this upwards. Okay, if I don't see it, then this is broken. Now wait for it to be broken. Once it's broken, then we can now look for other trade opportunities. So basically, you're just looking for what the market is going to do based on how the market reacts. That will inform the next trade you take. If we see this taken out, if I see this taken out, for example, I'm looking for the supply zone that took it out, and that will be where I will take my next trade from. But the way it is, this looks pretty good. There are other trades that can be taken here. Um, that is if we go down lower, much lower to the lower time frame. Let's say that this trade start going up and we see this zone that is taken out, this zone taken out. Okay, on the way up, there can be a trade taken to this point. There can be trade taken at this point, okay, to trade to this point. But that would be you going, say, to the 5 minute time frame to look for the opportunities. But if you're just starting out, don't just do this. Just wait for stick with 15 minutes first until you master that before going lower. So that is simply analysis on EU. So we're going to go to GU. GU. Why is my chat showing me? So let's look at GU. I want to do the same thing, clean up all this other stuff we have here. I want to clean them all out. Then again, we start from the weekly analysis to see what we can see. See, is there any goodies for us? Again, we have this gap here. So I'm looking forward to a retracement either here to go higher to this point. This is what I've been looking at for the very longest time. Okay, so this is what we have on the weekly time frame. So let's look at the possible movement. Now, even though I have my upper limit here, but I think this my upper limit can even come lower to this point. Upper limit, upper boundary rather, because it's really not a limit. Then I'm going to leave this one where it is. Even though the market can get, I don't think the market can get this particular point. So what it means is that my trade again is just between here. Can it go here or can it go here? We're looking for trade opportunities here. So that said, I'm going to just move straight to the daily time frame, because in the daily time frame is where you start making sense of the whole thing. Let's see. So again, we have a big imbalance here. So again, if I call imbalance or call fair value gap, I mean the same thing with the two of them. We have an imbalance here. Okay, an imbalance. So I have a demand zone here, which is a daily demand zone. We also have a supply zone here, which is also a daily supply zone. So ideally, we have a break of structure, and ideally, what I want to see is this and this. Okay, that's simply what I would like to see. Since we have this break of structure, and this is the demand zone that led to it. It's another demand zone here, but we're not interested in that one for now. So this said, we can now move straight to the 4 hours to see are we going to have opportunities to trade. Here we have a break of structure, we have a retracement down, and we moved higher. This is really, really messy. It's not, it's just weeks with nothing to really show for those weeks. Here you can see the demand zone that was taken last week, but it really led to nowhere. Okay, these are just this again. This is a messy price action. I want to go down to the 1 hour time frame to see, okay, can I still make, no, let me go back to the 4 hours to see if I can really make sense of this. So on the 4 hours, what am I seeing? I'm still seeing break of structure here. Okay. Then possible retracement this way, possible retracement. What is happening? Possible retracement this way and retrace and downward, maybe upwards again. That is what I'm saying, but we'll have to now investigate. Is this going to happen? Okay, still on the 4 hours. So Oliver is break of structure because it is a break of structure. Now, but this break of structure has no other block here where it can react from. Has no other block on this time frame where it could like retrace from then go higher. So we're going to the 1 hour to see can we find such. Now on the 1 hour, we still have a very good um, efficient movement downwards. Very good efficient movement downwards. The only other block I'm seeing is the one above here. This is the only one I'm seeing here. Okay, so maybe I what I'm expecting to see ideally is something like this. So I'm just putting up the fib because I can't find another block here. I think it's all ticking. So for this one, because I'm not seeing other blocks and finding clarity, I just have to wait for that to happen. So as it stands now, I think I'm just going to see what happens here. If I see this taking out, because this is a low, if I see it taking out, then I'll start looking for other block to shut it down. If not, if it breaks above here, then we'll now start looking for other blocks to trade it higher. But as it is now, it looks really messy. Um, I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to ignore the GU until you see clarity. So you don't take any trade. If it's not, if it doesn't come to you, you don't force a trade. You just leave it. There are a lot of other pairs to trade. This one is UJ, so I'm done with EU. I'm done with GU. So this one is USD Japanese yen. These are possible movements I've done in the past. So I'm still gonna go back to the weekly time frame to let us make sense of what is happening with this. Oh, okay. So what do we have? What do we have? Um, we have US dollar has been is really bullish against the dollar. I mean against Japanese yen. That's what we're having. And from the way I'm looking at it, the target is going to be this zone. It's a daily demand zone. So therefore, I'm just going to move down to the daily demand zone. I've been looking forward to seeing this gap closed. Okay, this particular gap, but I believe it's still going to be closed. At a particular time, it's going to come down to take this gap. But from the way it is, we have crossed into an efficient zone. This is a fair value gap. So this is headed for this demand zone that we see above here. Two things can happen. It can break it can respect and flow down. But either way, this is the target we're looking at. So we're just to look for opportunities to keep on trading higher. So looking for opportunities to trade it higher, we have this. So once we start seeing possible retracement down, this is zone that we can target to come down to. So we have this. It's a possible movement. Okay. Or you can just see this going higher to this particular zone. These are possible movements. So on the 4-hour time frame, what can we find? On the 4-hour time frame, we're trying to refine to make sense of what is happening. So efficient, I'm looking for efficiency, efficient movement all the way here. Then here is another movement you can look at. You can see this one on the 4 hours. This is a demand zone on the 4 hours. I don't even need to look at, okay, I can still leave this one. This is a movement on the 4 hours. So this also means that we could have these possible movements. We can have these possible movements here and we go high. Since we already have some sort of internal breakout structure here. EOJ. Okay. Now I can go further now to the 1 hour. Let's see. Can we make sense of any of this? On the 1 hour, I can refine this zone. Can refine this zone to here as our demand zone, which is totally fine. I have another zone here. I have this one, but this one is not a zone yet. For example, I can draw this particular one to say this is where the market is going to react from. But the reason why this is not valid because this is the last high here. Okay. This is going to, let me delete this. This will only be valid if we have this break above like this, and this becomes valid. But as it stands now, this is the valid one. Okay. It dropped down and a movement high. This is what I'm seeing here. Now let's go down lower to the 30 minutes time frame. See what we can see. 30 minutes I can refine further. 30 minutes to this particular zone. This becomes my demand zone. I think I'm happy to leave this one the way it is. I can actually call it a 1 hour demand zone. Now from here we can see a strong movement upwards. So 15 minutes. So I'm not really going to do anything with this. Okay. I'll just put an alert here. So this alert tells me that one, if this is broken, it's either I do any of this. One is if this demand zone still exists, I can take my trade from this particular demand zone to go higher. Okay. To go higher. But if it doesn't exist, I can look for trade opportunities. So we'll have this broken. I look for trade opportunities to trade this lower. So we'll get to this zone, and I can look for trade opportunities to trade higher. That is what I'll be looking forward to in this particular scenario. But as it stands now, I want to see what happens when this line is taken out. So that is that for UJ. And okay, let me look at EU. Is all this all have for EU, GU nothing, UJ, this is it. Now the next coin we're gonna look at is the GJ, right? The Japanese yen. the Great British Pound, Japanese yen. I think I've always keep saying this. This pair, EU and GU, gives me most of my. I get most of my successful trades from EU and GBP That is why I always trade them. That's why I always go for them. Sometimes at least you don't. I don't hit my full TP, but in this case you can see at least we got to the 3 hour. That's why I take my first take profit. This one was the latest one I took. I took this one on Thursday, and since that time, I didn't actually touch the chart on didn't trade on Friday at all. I didn't just look at it. I didn't look at the chart on Friday. It wasn't trade every day. So, looking at this from this, okay, looking at this without even doing any other thing, I'm having a supply zone. This is what this thing signifies. I'm having a supply zone here, and I'm breaking through the supply zone. Like this is a break of structure. This was a good opportunity if I had traded this particular day. This was a Friday because I had here a break of structure here, a demand zone above here, and you can see this was a really perfect, this like been a very profitable trade, which I didn't take because I didn't look at the chart there. So now we are here. It looks as if we are now breaking down to the downside because this one came all the way here. Okay. So I think what I should be looking forward to is looking forward to opportunities to trade this further down. But this is what I'm looking at, but mainly looking at this. But it's a brand new week, which means that I have to do top-down analysis again, starting from the weekly time frame to know where to really trade from. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, um, this has been my boundary. This has been a target, and this is a demand zone. Let me just go down to the daily time frame. So this is a demand zone I've been waiting to see filled for the very longest time, just because we have a gap here, but you can see it has not still been filled. I'm still looking forward to it getting filled. So this might be a turning point. This zone might be a turning point to see this market go down. So what I'm looking for here is looking for opportunities to trade this lower to this point. But you cannot force trade it. Just again react to what it does. I anticipate that we have a reversal from here to trade onto this zone. Then we can move higher from here. That is what my anticipation is. But I have to trade based on what the chart now offers me. Okay. Now I'm going to the 4 hour time frame to see, am I going to have opportunities to bring this lower? Okay. Where are my possible stops? One of my possible stop is here. This one here. This one possible stop that I have. Okay, because this is a demand zone. It can go off over from here. It's another possible stop that I have here. All right. So let's see. Here, we've had almost an equal high, equal low here. It's not a perfect equal low, but it's relatively almost. Okay. So I can just mark this as liquidity, which means that for my likely see price coming down here to take it again. I can see that from here, we're coming from another block. So on the 4 hours, this high is refined into this zone. We tap well into this zone. We seem to be respecting it to come to this, to come below. So 1 hour now. What can we find on the 1 hour? Let me clean this to make my chart cleaner. 1 hour, we tapped into this zone. We came back. We came all the way on the 1 hour and made a break of structure to the downside here. You can see that clearly. Once we did that, we took another block here, came down further. Right now we are in this other block. So we're in this particular order block here. So I think what I will look for here is to look for a confirmation entry to trade lower. As simple as that. Look for confirmation entry, and my target just be to take the liquidity here. So first target, second target, and possibly third target. So then we can now go to the 30 minutes, 15 minutes, to trade further. I'm just going to go straight to the 15 minutes. Okay. Now, what do I want to see? I could turn my um, EMA off first to see what do I want to see. Okay, let's look at the possibilities here. This is a swing point. It's a low. Okay. This is an order block here. We can see it here. This is another 15 minutes order block. Very close to the liquidity zone we have. So now in this case, you can use order blocks as a point where you take trade from. You can also use them as targets. I can clear this one above here. Now, what can I start looking for now? I can start looking for opportunities to trade lower, because these are just, this price action is really messy. It's not clean. It's not clean. So what can I start looking for? I can start looking for because my orientation to this now is that we can go lower. Okay, let me mark. Okay, this one is taking. This is actually another block that has been taken. Okay, it's not another block because we don't have a break of structure to the downside. So looking at this, let's analyze this further. So here we have a high. We have this high into this other block. We did this to this low. We made almost an equal high, but it broke it. Then we made a low. This tapped into this zone. So I expect to go lower from here. This is confirmation. It's not a clean confirmation, but it's a confirmation. Okay. And so possible trade is, if we see this broken, then we can trade lower to this particular zone. If we see this particular block is broken. But then again, I can go lower to the 5 minute to see, is there anything I can do with this to this point? Now this is 15 minutes, back to 15 minutes. So the first idea I have is this. So I'm creating, I'm putting an alert on this line. So first idea I have is, if I see this broken and it leaves an order block here, then I want to take a trade from that point to this point. That will be all my trade for today for GJ. That will give me good money today if I see this broken. So this is my first idea. Second idea is to go lower now to a smaller time frame and see and look for what I can trade here. Every opportunity like this, a break or structure, you can see the demand zone. It has been taken by this and isn't respected. Looking at this is the last low again. Uh, it is the last low. It's 5 minutes now, and this last low is almost giving us an equal low as well. So on the 5 minutes, I can also play the same game. If we see a break down here, and I have an order block here, I can trade lower as well. I can target just this one. It's a very small trade, or I can target here. But I'll make sure I take my first take profit. I take out my trade at I have to take profit, one, maybe 3 hours to take out. It must give me up to 3 hours to this particular point before I took the trade. So these are the possibilities, okay? But I should see an order block before I trade this. I can even go lower to 3 minutes. Um, I don't understand teaching you guys how to take this kind of trade. Anyway, I'll place an alert here to see. So these are the two trades opportunity I'm looking forward to take on British pound JPY. One is on the 15 minutes time frame. If I see this taking out, I want to look for opportunities to trade it down. That is one. On this very 5 minutes, 3 minutes time frame, okay, if I see this taking out, I want to look for opportunity to trade it down. Otherwise, if it doesn't happen, then I'll just wait for the next opportunity. So that is my complete analysis for this currency pairs. Euro USD, this is what I'm looking at. GBP USD, I'm leaving it because it's not clear. USD JPY, I'm waiting for here to be broken to know what to do. And GBP JPY, this is what I'm also looking forward to do on GBP JPY. So that said, we're going to go straight to cryptocurrencies, starting with Bitcoin. Guys, there's really no time. Starting with Bitcoin, let's go to cryptocurrencies. Okay, so I'm going to start from the daily time frame. I don't go all the way to the weekly. Just like I said, Bitcoin don't have the same historical data as this stuff. So we dropped a poll on the group. Do you think Bitcoin is going lower, or do you think Bitcoin has hit the bottom? From a technical analysis point of view, this is a point of possible reversal. This is another point of possible reversal. And I keep on saying that, man, Bitcoin can get to $85,000, and it is it is possible it gets to $85,000. As a matter of fact, if you break this zone, we can be looking at $70,000 to $65,000. But it's a point of reversal anyway. Now, this is a trade we didn't get. This particular trade, at a movement upward. This was where I was looking forward to take a short position from Bitcoin, but we did not get it. We clearly did not get it. Okay. Now, what can we do? You can see that this zone price has taken it, has even broken through it. So I'm just going to remove it. Delete some of these old things. I'm still going to leave this one above here, but let's see. Did this a very strong swing point? This swing point was broken by, don't need this one anymore. This strong swing point was broken by a demand zone here, but there's no demand zone actually here. So this one is still the one that we can say that is still valid. Okay. And right now we have tapped into this efficient zone, which means that Bitcoin is likely to hit 84,000. 84,000 is possible with Bitcoin at this time. If you look here, can we see any other demand zone here? Yes, we can actually see, sorry, a supply zone rather. We can actually see a supply zone at this point, which is this one. I just saw it now, which is this one. Which means that this is a possible point of reversal. This one is a possible point of reversal. So with this said, we can investigate further. So let me delete this. so we don't get confused by it. So this is the possible point of reversal. Okay. I'm going to refine further. This is the 4 hours. So this refining it further, because all above here there's no other zone. This refines. You know what? I'm just going to target this green candle. Let me take the whole of this space. Yes. So this is where we are. We haven't. Now I'm going to go lower, and I want to mark this zone. Let's look at this zone. I want to mark this zone. Mark this zone, and I also want to mark, because after this one we have this zone here. And let's investigate what it gives us here. So this particular order block we have here, which is, no, let me just mark the whole of here to here. Just to investigate. Okay, so you can see that this has tapped into, this is the last order block. You can see this has tapped into it, even broke it today, broke the whole of it. So I can remove it now. Okay, but this is the last swing. Basically, if since we have entered this efficient zone here, it shouldn't hold anymore, right? But this is still the last swing that we're having here. It's more like after this last swing, it's all hell loose. Nothing is holding me to this particular point. It's me going micro, micro. So what I'm saying that if we had, let me make it clearer. So what I'm saying is that if we had a breakdown to this point, then it's more likely we do this, right? To go like this. Okay. Now, because we have not broken down this particular line, we might just keep going lower. Because again, I said I'm expecting this movement this way, but I'm saying that we might just keep going lower like this until we break this particular line. Then this now forms a break or structure. Then we can now start seeing reversal this way to this other block and take it lower. So this is what I'm not going to leave this as this. Maybe I just leave this as this, as a point of possible reversal that I'm looking at on the 4-hour time frame. But as it stands now, this, what we have here, let me draw it out. What we have here, right? Once we break it, we can still keep going lower. As a matter of fact, let me go to the 1-hour time frame. Let me start. Let me start making sense of this. So, from what we've seen so far, we saw that we are into an efficient zone, and this is the low of that efficient zone. Therefore, we need to take out this particular line. We want to take out this line here, this line I drew here. We want to take it out. When we take it out, we'll now have a proper break of structure, then we can now retrace to this particular zone. So therefore, we can now look at this as a break of structure internally to this side. Call this a BOS. And looking at that on the 1-hour, what can we find? We can find this as an order block. But because it's so tiny, when this happens, I usually like to take all the green candle, this green candle. Okay, we have another one above here. So what this tells me is that one, I'm targeting this zone. So one play is I take a short position from this zone All right. My first TP is here, which is 3.9. Second TP is this one, 5.11. Second possible trade is to take a short position from here. In case this doesn't hold, this will become my next trade. And again, first TP, I'll just go for a 3 hour, and second TP will be this particular zone. So this is looking at this from the 1 hour time frame. This is what I'll be looking at. But we're going to go down further to because this is a swing trade. We'll go down further to the 30 minutes time frame and even the 1 hour time frame. So at this point, this is why I start introducing my EMA. Okay. So I introduce my EMA from this particular point. 30 minutes doesn't tell me much yet. I'll go down to the 15 minutes time frame. So from the 15 minutes time frame, this is a trade I'm going to maintain. Okay. One, the EMA seems to be supporting me at this particular point right now, especially on the 30 minutes, because I'm almost into the zone. I have a break of structure here. So I should see a this and a this. This is the limit order that this is the trade that I will take for Bitcoin. If it fails, then this. If it fails, because trades can fail, then I'll look for a confirmation entry here to trade this lower here. Hope this is clear for Bitcoin. I'm actually going to try to finish this analysis so I can just go ahead and place this trade. But we're 1 hour into this, so maybe I'll just analyze one more currency and we are done for today. Just one more currency, and that will be Ethereum. Ethereum. This one didn't work. I'm going to remove all this, all of this. These are previous analysis I did. Now, if you look at this, I did this yellow line a long time ago when we actually around here, and this has been the target I've been looking forward to see Ethereum come to. So, 2.7 to 2.6 is where I expect Ethereum to now bounce from and start going higher. This is actually a Fibonacci zone, it's a Fibonacci golden zone. So it tells me that, okay, I want to still see. So let me just go to the daily. Let's do proper top-down analysis. Okay. Okay, I'm going to remove this. I can't remember what I drew it for. So these are supply zone, which Ethereum didn't take. So this is what I was expecting here to go lower. Okay, but we didn't see that. We saw this. We saw another break, and again, but we are still within the other block. See what I mean? Unlike Bitcoin, this is the last demand zone we have for Ethereum, and that has not been that is we are still within that particular zone. All right. Now I'm going to remove this. Now within here, we have two things. One is this supply zone, but on the daily, this supply zone doesn't make sense. Why? Because this is not yet a breakout structure. But we're going to investigate this when we go lower. As a matter of fact, I'm going lower right away. Okay, this is still not a breakout structure because this is the last low. I am refining this to this particular point. So this hasn't said anything. I expect this okay, to this point. But this hasn't like said that, okay, I have a break here. I should respect this. This is the one that still said it is meant to be respected. So therefore, I'm going to go down to the 1 hour time frame. Even though the 1 hour is not pretty clear. Um, so Ethereum is not clear to me. Maybe I'm getting fatigued to analyze it further. But this is a possible move from here. I'm just like thinking it's based off of what I saw in Bitcoin actually. So this is a possible move for Ethereum. Short position, where is it? A possible move for Ethereum. Here, cannot get this particular low. Then if we see this broken, then we can now start. If we see it broken, let's say it's broken high, then we can now start looking for trade above. But right now, from what I'm seeing that is doing, this is a trade that I want to take. So I'm going to stop here. I hope I've been talking for like almost over an hour. So I'm going to stop here. I hope you have some clarity with the trades. Continue tomorrow on Discord. Don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to join the crypto telegram group and always use the FS calculator to manage your risk when trading. So bye everyone. I'll see you those of us on Discord. I'll see you tomorrow on Discord.